Hey everybody, this is Tara Green here. It is January the 20th. It is the historic conjunction of the Sun and Pluto at the very last degree of Capricorn, the 29th degree, 59 minutes. It started earlier, and I did set this altar up earlier when the conjunction first began at 1:52 a.m. That was Eastern Standard Time, and it'll continue until 9:07 a.m. when the Sun enters Aquarius, so it's exact from 8:44 to 9:07 a.m. So you can see I've got set up different things here. I'm making a tincture in that big blue bottle there. I've got different things in it, stuff that you offer Pluto and stuff for the Sun. And so there are different symbols here representing the different qualities. I have a Ganesha statue there with my husband's gold wedding rings, and the card of death in the tarot, number 13, Scorpio. My husband's big crystal that he dug up from the earth. Pluto rules the riches of the earth in Arkansas. I've got offerings here of chocolate and pomegranate apples and some special shulajit from the earth, and different oils here also that are being blessed in the ceremony. And as well, I am saying prayers for people who want to have loved ones and those who passed on, because Pluto is the lord of the dead. And also pets and animals. You know, Pluto has Cerberus, this three-headed dog that rules the gates of hell. Now the underworld, Pluton, I did invoke Pluto already. I made a sound recording of Pluto and Gaia, the earth, and Apollo, the sun, which were the classical three gods and goddesses that represent what is going on in the sky. And so I called in all of the elements, all the four directions. This is facing east for the sun. So when I do this kind of ceremony, I call in the four directions. I start in the east. That's the way I do it. And then I'm going to do the prayers for all the people who asked. I won't mention their names, but for all the people who asked to be in this ceremony. And my dear friend Ayala in Sedona, whose beautiful 16-year-old wolf dog just passed recently, named Shekinah. I say prayers for Shekinah and his passing. He was a great teacher. And for people who asked for their own names to be entered, I'm going to say them silently. And for those friends of mine, people that are dear to my heart, I send them prayers as well, of course, to my family, my husband, my son, my daughter-in-law, my beautiful little grandson, Thais. My ex-mother-in-law, Jenny. She be well. My cousin Carol in Mexico. My cousins in the US and in Belgium. And his daughters in China and London. And for all my ancient ancestors. Pluto rules the ancestors, and he rules the healing in the dream world. So I call upon Chiron, healer of dreams. Pluto also, because he rules psychology. James Hillman has written some beautiful things about Pluto, as well as Cosmos and Psyche writer Richard Tarnas wrote some beautiful things also about Pluto, the lord of psychology and depth psychology, transformational psychology, and evolutionary astrology as well. Pluto is related to the nodes of karma as our Saturn, and Saturn is the ruler of Capricorn, but we're not out of the woods yet, because as Pluto enters Aquarius for the second time now since March 23rd, 23, this is still a rehearsal. Pluto will be in Aquarius from later today, January the 20th, until September the 1st, and then it will return back to this 29th degree from September the 1st to November the 19th. That's when the same energy that's happening today is going to repeat, but even be more intense as Pluto gives his final coup de grace as he leaves Capricorn. So yes, the Sun-Pluto conjunction, the Cazimi today, is very important, but this is not the final entry of Pluto into Aquarius. We've got another, we've got like 9 months to go. It's kind of a pregnancy, right? So, we could think about this as very much a seed bearing, a seed planting energy here. Of course, it's a very powerful kickoff to Aquarius season, and of course Later today, the Sun and Pluto will be together at 0 degrees of Aquarius, actually reigniting that famous degree because it was the one that Jupiter and Saturn aligned at December the 21st on winter solstice in 2020, which kicked off another 200-year cycle of those two planets, which meet every 20 years. 20 years was traditionally considered to be a generation. That's how long that Pluto is going to be in Aquarius for as well, when it finally stays there from November 2020, 2024. So Jupiter and Saturn are only going to meet in air signs for the next 200 years. They've only met in earth signs for the last 200 years. So this is really, in a way, now the final goodbye, and I guess till November the 19th, the final goodbye of working with the earth and excavating the earth and taking the minerals from the earth. And that's what Pluto rules, the actually vegetables, feeding people, traditionally, not just the Lord of Death, but all the agrarian riches and all the rituals, all the crystals. Now, not raping the earth from all the crystals is an important thing that, of course, as we go into Aquarius, people are going to be more conscious of as well. So I call upon Pluto, the big symbol for me. Any planet that sits in the heart of the sun is a blessing, and it only lasts for a few hours usually. So with Pluto, especially at this very last historic time here, I'm making this tincture, which I will later bottle and let sit, and it will be available for you if you want. Pluto, the Lord of Death and Rebirth, wealth, money, power, control, secrets, sex, the underworld, everything criminal, everything hidden, money laundering, sex trafficking, all of the most evil, vile, demonic, all that devil worship stuff going on in the world. As Pluto sits in the heart of the sun will reveal all those secrets in the light of day. This is a really big thing, a really good thing. So everything that's been secret and hidden, all the darkness, there's good darkness and bad darkness. This is the bad darkness. Is going to be revealed in the light of day for the next 20 years. And we're going to go through a big societal change here as well. We can imagine what it's going to be like in the next 20 years. So all the babies being born after today are born into a whole new generation, a whole new archetype, Aquarian archetype, humanitarian, higher consciousness. So really it's about, we're at the most earthy. There's also a lot of planets in Earth. Right now there's 6 planets in Earth. So really feel that sense of staying grounded, because once Pluto really stays in Aquarius and then Uranus will join it in 2025, we're going into a long period of air emphasis again in that 200-year cycle. So, the air element is like a breath of fresh air. Aquarius is all about freedom and revolution and top-down hierarchies. It's the opposite of Leo. So there's going to be less drama, a lot less drama. It's going to be more intellectual, which is a good thing, more analytical, but it can be a little bit too cool. I mean, Aquarians, all signs have feelings. Aquarians just like to analyze their feelings. They think about them. They're detached from them. It's very scientific, So they're good researchers as well. So Aquarius energy, it's about each individual having power, but none more than another. And everybody's equal. Okay, so we're still going through the beginning of that change with individual types of people and genders being recognized. That's also kind of an Aquarian. There's like a blur of genders. But we don't want to become robots. There's a danger of becoming transhumanist. Aquarius rules new technology, the internet, cryptocurrencies. Lots of people do want to become a robot and become, part of Neuralink and have their consciousnesses, raised up to the cloud because they think it's going to make them immortal, but that's still about ego. And, Pluto is always about ego death. Because if you're still clinging on to the fact that you want to hold on to your material resources, your wealth, or your stuff, or it's your ego, then Pluto is going to be felt like a threat and an enemy. But when you realize that the ego is what's holding us all back, and we're really only souls, that's what we came here to do. We're temporarily wearing these meat outfits, like Lady Gaga so obviously demonstrated there. We let go. We want to go through the transformation. There is always stuff floating around here. I noticed the camera picks that up. When I do ceremony, when you're really in ceremony, everything gets very quiet and anything can happen. Magic can happen. I always think, this fireplace is kind of like a Harry Potter thing. So I'm sending out my energy through the fireplace to the big black hole at the center of this galaxy, because Venus is on that point right now. And we're talking about the heart and opening our hearts and feeling that sense of the positive aspects of Pluto as the bringer of soul wealth. Ultimately, yes, you can bequeath your real estate to your children or grandchildren or your charities, but ultimately we don't come from here. We're limited in this, even in this galaxy. There's so many more dimensions, and we want to learn about those. We want to expand. We always want to be able to grow. Yeah, there's stuff going by here. We want to be able to grow. We want to be able to transform. This will help us to get out of our stuckness, whatever thing you're stuck into. You want to get over it. Again, James Hillman wrote about Pluto just expanding our sense of nobody has to be right. Everybody's vision of whatever the afterlife is okay. You don't have to prove you're better than anybody else. It's a multi-dimensional universe. So don't be afraid of dying. Don't be afraid of change. Don't be afraid of poverty. Don't be afraid of anything. In lots of Tibetan Buddhist studies, you go to cemeteries and you stay there because you have to face the fact that death is always coming. So make death your ally. Also, opening up your soul, your soul's true wealth. Each individual soul has so much to bring here. And so you want to tap into your soul's wealth, into your dreams, into your intuition, into your solar power. There's that, pun about soul and soul. So uplifting the shadows, the shame, letting go of the obsessions. That's a very Scorpio thing. Pluto rules Scorpio, of course. Letting go of the obsessions, the revenge, the jealousy, all those lower level root chakra. That's where Scorpio is at its lowest stinging level. You want to up level it till you're the eagle that still feels all the feelings, but moves higher, rises above it. The eagle is the messenger of spirit. And what you really want to get to, the highest level of Scorpio, Plutonic Scorpio, is the phoenix, voluntarily setting yourself on fire, immolating yourself so that you rise again from the ashes. The phoenix is immortal. And so knowing that you're an immortal being, you're an immortal soul, what did you really come here to do? You want to be guided by your soul's needs. So this is the time to really embody that, to choose to embody your soul and your solar purpose. Apollo, Ra, the gods of the sun. You want to be in that heart of gold. You want to have a heart of gold. You want to be living from your soul's purpose. Imagine what that's like. And think about how far away you've been living from it. Consciousness is everything. So the light, your consciousness travels faster than the speed of light. So I call upon you, dear Pluto, Hades, to bring soul wealth, to make us all know we are undeniably deserving. Pluton, Lord of wealth, riches, and power. Help us to own our own power. Help us to be sovereign. Help us to be grounded. Remove all the obstacles that obscures our truth that's in our bones. Saturn, it's in our bones, it's in our DNA. We connect to our ancestors for help and strength. This is the number 8 year. We're also going into a wood dragon year. Next new moon, Chinese New Year. It's year of a lot of wealth and a lot of strength. So know that you're wealthy. Know that you already have everything you need within you. So I'm going to close this now, but I'm going to keep the circle open. While the Sun and Pluto are still conjoined, I'm just going to ask if Pluto has a message. Yes, you see me with my heart. And no, I cannot be demoted. I am the Lord of death, underworld. I keep the souls, although they're free to go. I help you transform from the depths of darkness when you are the most depressed, when you're at the most angry, revengeful. I transform women who've been sexually abused from rape. That's what I'm most associated with, rape. At this time, women who've been raped, children who've been raped, men who've been raped, boys who've been raped, the earth that's been raped. Everybody who's been taken advantage of by the plutocrats has their day. As I sit in the heart of the sun, I bring victory and light and wealth and the golden light of everlasting light to any who've been harmed in any way in this earth plane. This is not the true reality. This reality on earth has been tampered with, it's been manufactured. It is not the way it was originally. And so everyone collectively needs to wake up to that fact. If you listen to your dreams, if you meditate, you ask me to come, I will bring you all the knowledge. I travel everywhere. I have my helmet of invisibility. I travel between all the worlds, the lower world, the middle kingdom, the upper world with Mercury. I see all. No one ever sees me. So just hang out with me. Be my buddy. I'll help you. Okay, sending you many blessings.